That's the first time I've been in like 30 games. Seriously.
Alright everybody, welcome back to the Covenant Top 8. This is the Summer Top 8, and you see now that we are squaring off. We have a game of Zach versus Ben here. This is Zach playing his Targaryen Shadows deck versus Ben Ruggles, who's playing his Greyjoy Maester Choke deck. I'm here with Robert, of course.
Hi-yo.
And we're going to be talking about the way this game is going as it proceeds. To start off, this is an interesting matchup. This is Targ versus Greyjoy is always a kind of a weird one. Targaryen, of course, specializing in burn, terminal kill that you cannot save from, except for a few choice things like Makoro and Risen from the Sea. And so one of Greyjoy's strength is immediately nullified. However, Greyjoy has access to some pretty cheap, high-strength characters. They have some good armies to prevent the burn. And they've got a lot of location control, which can really throw a kink in Targaryen's plans. Zach's playing Hollow Hill, and Ben flops the Iron Fleet Raiders, the Wintertime Marauders, and a River Blockade. Not stellar, but not terribly bad either. Anytime you see Marauders, you know that things are getting juicy.
That's right. Marauders are one of the best cards in the game, without a doubt.
Perhaps Greyjoy's best card. Yeah, Greyjoy's best card.
Perhaps.
Said it. It's true, everyone knows it.
It's on record.
Greyjoy has to play Winter right now, I think, until they get some better juice in non-Winter builds. What are your thoughts on Iron Fleet Raider right off the bat? Well, to start, before we get into that, Zach's doing the old trick, the old ambush Dragon Knight in first turn trick, and then opening with Rule by Decree. An easy way to get a card out of your hand, get a body onto the field, and then make your opponent discard 3 cards. And one of the most annoying things that you can do. It's particularly annoying here because Zach can make Ben's At the Gates trigger first. I don't know if he's done that or if this was kind of looked over, but that would be exceptionally bad. I don't know. Wild stuff. He may have made Ben go first. Who knows?
Who knows?
We can't hear him.
It doesn't matter.
So already 3 cards out of the hand. It's like, come on. That's like 3 intrigue challenges.
Alanis, a Nightmare, and a Bloody Keep. Gone.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And he's got a Dragon Knight on the board. Which leads us into our discussion, or at least our commentary on Hollow Hill in general. Now, this is pre-John Bruno. And looks like Ben pulls out Maester Windermere there for some saves. Going to be pretty useless against the burn deck. So Bruno wins Worlds with a Hollow Hill Targ deck. But there's been a lot of Hollow Hill Targ nonsense since before Bruno came along and did that. It's been all over the place, certainly been around at the store. Zach's running a really heavy Shadows version of it, and right off the bat you see that influence is a little bit like having an extra 2 gold every turn.
That's right.
Except 2 gold that you can play at any time, not even during the marshalling phase. So when Targ's on Hollow Hill, is it safe to say that they're getting more or less plus 4 gold a turn?
It is. It's very safe to say that, and because of that, you have to really question the potency of Hollow Hill, not just in general, but specifically for Targaryen, because losing the setup, it's only 5 gold, but they're getting plus 4 all across the game, and that's going to be first turn as well, so it's kind of like a so what. They start the first turn 1 gold behind, and then Targ is going to start pumping out more and more influence as the game goes on, so it's just this nasty snowball effect. If they can maintain any kind of card draw, then they usually will have no problems whatsoever just doing everything they want.
Absolutely. Now, Zach plays Magister Illyria with a dupe and then drops a card into Shadows. And Ben here made an interesting play, held on 2 Sunset. So he discarded down for Roll by Decree and held on to some cards. 2 Sunset Seas, an Island Refugee, there's an Asha there, also a White Raven for Winter, etc., etc. These are all super low-cost cards. So he essentially empties his hand on turn 1, and knowing Classic Greyjoy, and certainly looking at the board, he's got no card draw to speak of. So already, Zach has more cards. He's got a huge resource advantage for the rest of the game. And, the fundamentals here already are slanted. Regardless of how this plays out, the fundamentals of Zach getting so much per turn and Ben having no hand and getting less gold is gonna hurt him in the long run, I think. So he does an Intrigue Challenge with Illyria, looks like, and that one would be unopposed, and then Dragon Knight swings in, and Ben is going to block. You'll notice that after winning that Intrigue Challenge, Khal Drogo jumped into play which is one of Zach's favorite moves. And I guess he didn't remember the old Wintertime Marauder trigger, or he did and didn't care, because Wintertime just blocked the old Dragonite and then discarded him for its ability. Still, how are you feeling right now?
Well, this is kind of a so what. You saw Ben's Marshall, and it came out pretty strong. It had 5 characters on the board. Looked pretty good. But with Targaryen Bird, especially Zach's Targaryen Burn, it really doesn't matter. The board is always deceiving, and you can virtually count on the fact that though it might appear that Zach is behind the power curve, he is nonetheless going to even this up, especially for the next turn or two, if not sooner. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say that this looks like a pretty strong board for what I usually see for Zach's Targ Shadows deck, and Ben is going to need not only more out on the board, but way more cards in his hand if he's going to have any kind of a chance, because all these characters are probably going to drop lickety-split next turn with a, what is that, not first known winner, Threat from the North
right.
Plot. So that's going to get them all -1 discarded if it's 0. And then Zach will play like a Hatchling's Feast or something outrageous and just go boom, 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 and then they're all gone.
Indeed. Now, Ben's making an interesting play here with the Iron Fleet Raiders. This is a card that essentially you can discard 3 cards from your deck to make it 0 strength, 2 cards make it 1 strength. And you can do that as the opponent, and only as the opponent. So, you know, the real synergistic tendencies of this guy is with Corpse Lake or other things. And of course, here we see Zach dropping Valor. He can save Illyrio, and now we have a full reset where Zach's getting +4 gold a turn versus Ben, who's getting 0 essentially on the bonus. Has no cards, has no card draw. It's one of these things where after you've been playing long enough, you look at this kind of a game, you look at this setup, you just look at the fundamentals of what's happening here. And at this point, I don't see any way for Ben to come back and win this game.
And worse yet for Ben, it looks like he played the Muster the Realm plot, which is going to give him a lot of gold, but now that his Wintertime Marauders is gone, which is his only army, he is going to be incapable of doing a military challenge himself unless one of those 2 cards that he just drew, his only 2 cards, is in fact an army. So this is not looking good for him. You kind of more or less dictated that one of the 3 challenges isn't going to happen. But guess what? Targaryen Burn doesn't care. They can kill with impunity at any time, regardless of having a challenge or not. So Zach is probably feeling very comfortable knowing that a military challenge more than likely isn't going to come his way.
So at what point how do you come back from this against Hollow Hill with Targ running ambush and just really +2 gold for the rest of the game, even if you disregard the ambush completely? How does a board like this recover? Is it possible?
It is possible, but it's one of those things that is probably only possible from, say, a Lannister or Martell deck, somebody with just a phenomenal amount of card draw, a phenomenal amount of gold or reduction, just to overwhelm Zach's cards. That way you have more in your hand, you're getting more out on the board, and he simply can't burn it fast enough. Now that is a very, very hard thing to do, I will say. The plots that Burn has available to it, in addition to its very synergistic effects, makes that nearly impossible. So I don't really know what to do. Targ, Hollow Hill, Burn is almost, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it is retardedly good. And I just don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in theory that would do well against it, but in practice, I just don't know.
Right. So Ben drops the Time for Ravens plot, which is just essentially saying I need some kind of character on the board. Zach, of course, dropped the City of Shadows and essentially gets 4 gold worth of Shadows cards there, on the top of getting +4 gold from the agenda. So
it's crazy.
The resources are just kind of ludicrous here. We got Wex Pike out against Burn.
It's a joke. It's a joke. We all know it. I mean, he's 1 strength. He's gone.
1 strength is gone. If you got the Carrion Bird, 1 strength, that's gone as well.
Because Illyrio's out. Illyrio's out.
Illyrio's out. Threat from the North.
Terminal effect. I mean, it's Zach probably saw Wex come out and he's just like, okay, Ghost of Highheart. Oh my gosh, you might be able to do something.
I don't know. Pre-challenge, we'll see.
That's right. Yeah.
I think Zach had first action, so he might just burn it up.
He does.
And he's got plenty of cards.
Here it comes.
Shadows. We have what looks like
Sorrowful
Sorrowful Man. Got to pay a gold or kill Ghost of Highheart, which Ben has plenty of, given the standard Greyjoy situation, which is I have no card draw, I have no cards in hand, I have a ton of gold, so it doesn't matter.
There's the Assassin killing the Ghost of the High Heart as a Shadows action.
There you go. King's Landing Assassin comes out, -2 strength. Sorrowful Man leads with a deadly power challenge. That's going to get Khal Drogo out. There he is. And then he's going to hit a military stealthing Wex, which is going to kill Wex unopposed. And we've got the intrigue challenge.
One card. There's the Carrion
Bird
that he just pulled.
So at this point, it's really a train. There's nothing to do. You can't really Valor this. Cal's going to still be around. You have to Valor it, but it's really, you know it's really not going to do you any good.
That's right.
So especially looking at hand size, Ben's got 1 card. Zach's got quite a few. Again, the resource swing is massive. I feel like having played against Targ Hollow Hill quite a bit and having won against it a few times, more than a few times, especially at Worlds, there's 2 keys. One is you have to kill their hand.
Yep.
That is the only way that you can get it. You have to nuke that King's Landing Shadows location if and when it comes out. You have to make sure Drogo is not on the board getting the cards each turn. You have to kill Meraxes every time you see it. If that's Pyromancers or Apprentices or Condemned by the Council or whatever, you have to kill everything. So Zach drops Threat, which I imagine this is really just kind of a if Ben plays anything out, he's just going to die.
Right.
So anyway, as far as Hollow Hill is concerned, keeping that hand in check, really, really killing the hand is a big deal. And, you know, aside from that, keeping influence off the board and, I don't know, they have 3 resets. They've got Valor, they've got Threat from the North, and they have any number of other ones if they want it. They've got tons of cards, tons of burn cards, going to kill anything you put out. So uniques are a liability, and you just have to have high strength, no attachment. That's really one of the ways to do it.
Yeah.
Try to avoid the Valor.
But even so, most of those cards are non-unique, so the Valor is really going to decimate them, and they're usually high cost too, because they're armies and that kind of stuff that prevents the attachments. And here's a Distinguished Boatswain, who's going to be at 2 strength at the moment, because there is a card in Shadows, which means he's still quite prone to not a Valor, but a burn effect.
And even better, Threat from the North means he's at
1 strength.
1.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's just candy right now. And of course, there we go. Harried by Dragons. Discarded. And we're back to 1. There goes Sirio. He's going to come in for the military. He's going to trigger, you know it, Khal Drogo. He's going to trigger the power challenge. It's going to be unopposed. And then both of those guys are going to go back. Khal should go back to hand. Sirio should go back to Shadows as Zach's thinking.
Zach just did a fist pound, knowing that he just forgot to put Sirio back.
The classic move.
That's right, you gotta remember Sirio.
Classic burn player fist pound there.
But he's pretty safe. The Valor was just played. I don't know if Ben would have anything that would disrupt Sirio's presence on the board. So here we go. We have, what is that?
Winds of Winter and the City of...
Spiders?
Is it the one that copies?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a 1/02 that copies the shadow effect, or the Winterfield effect of another city plot.
In your use pile.
So that means Zach can, in fact, drop 2 into Shadows, which he doesn't, because I guess he was just needing a plot to fill that right there, and he didn't have the Shadows card.
And depending on what kind of icons he gets out, this could be game with the 2 claim on a power challenge, so we'll see what happens.
And Ben gets exactly what he wants.
Oh, baby.
Iron Mines and an Ice Fisherman with the Horn of Dragons. This will save him. I think, yeah, Horn is unique only, which is a classic Greyjoy mistake there. So we have a 1-strength Ice Fisherman versus Sirio and company. At least the Iron Mines will save him from military claim if he doesn't get burnt sooner.
That's right. So,
and
Ben is playing with his cards here, knowing the inevitable is on its way.
Yes, we get it. We get it.
Let's see, Zach is
incinerating. Ooh, wow.
Poor Ice Fisherman. He doesn't want the unopposed, even though he could probably clear it straight away with the military challenge.
That's just mean right there.
So there's the unopposed, Khal Drogo, 3 power.
Power, 2 claim, that'll be it.
Game. Handshake. It's over.
Alright, so there you have it. A quick Hollow Hill versus Greyjoy choke. This is pretty standard, what you'd expect to see out of that matchup. And does Greyjoy have the tools to beat this deck? Does anyone have the tools to beat Targ Hollow Hill? Hopefully.
We'll see.
We'll see. If you have any questions, hit us up. Support at teamcovenant.com. We love doing these videos for you guys. And if you'd like more from Robert and I, listen to the Two Guys, One Throne podcast, which goes up once a week on the teamcovenant.com website. You can follow Robert to get access to those podcasts, or just see them as they pop up there on the homepage. Also on iTunes and I think any number of
I think that's the
providers.
The spectrum. Yeah.
We also, of course, have singles and house packs and any number of things like that for sale. So if you want to support our efforts here and what we're doing, that is the best way to do so. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.
Peace out.